All right. Welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna preview week 7 of the NFL season. The Thursday night predictions were out there. My original prediction of Browns by 3 would have been correct had I just stuck with it, but the other guys picked the Browns, so I had to pick the Broncos. Can't guarantee
Understandable.
a team to win. Um, so today we're just gonna be previewing the Sunday and Monday matchup. And then give you some fantasy starts. But yes, so the first game, a little ESPN sound for you. The first game is the Giants versus the Panthers, Giants being the home team. Pat,
I like the Giants winning this one.
interesting.
I know. I feel like they've been getting they've I feel like they've looked bad. They've looked so bad that it's bound to they're bound to pull off an upset.
They haven't looked that bad to me. I think they've looked good in a lot of games. They just looked really bad last week.
Yeah, I do. That definitely has because I picked them to win last. I picked them to beat the Rams, but if not win, stay in a very close game. And then after watching them lose by 30, I was like, all right, this team is dead to me.
Fair. I'm not going to pick the Giants just because nobody is playing for them. So I'm gonna grab the Panthers on this one. Yes. My week 7 start of the week from this matchup is Chuba Hubbard, or Chuba Hubbard. It's not as fun to say. Yeah, in the league where I have McCaffrey, he was somehow available on the waiver wire, so I was able to grab him there. But most leagues, I don't have him. Obviously, I'm big in the Alexander Madison rostering, not as big in the Chuba Hubbard rostering before the season. But if you have Hubbard, start him. That's what I'll say.
I would also take a backup running back, but I would go with Devontae Booker,
Yeah,
Saquon's replacement. In the little bits of the Giants game I did watch last week against the Rams, he looked good when they were still in the game and where they were able to use him in run scenarios. But then he kind of lost some of his value towards the end when they were just throwing the ball. So
yeah.
I think he still put up 10 or 11 points.
He
So
put
I
up
think
10. Yeah,
maybe a touchdown this week, and he's going to get the workload to be relevant in fantasy.
fair. Yeah, I don't want to touch a Giant. I'm fading the Giants. Dante Pettis, at this point, you don't really know who you're supposed to
I
play.
think
So
the Giants by 6 tomorrow.
it's fair. I don't. Our second matchup is arguably the most interesting matchup of the week. The 3-3 Chiefs going to Tennessee to take on the 4-2 Titans. Because you don't really know what to make of Tennessee. They beat Seattle, and then they look bad against the Cardinals, and then they really beat down another team. I don't remember what team they beat badly, but then they lost to somebody else, and then they beat the Bills. So it's kind of what kind of team are you? Who you got there?
I have the Chiefs.
I also have the Chiefs.
And it's not because I don't think the Titans are I do think the Titans are one of the
Better teams in the AFC.
I have them 2, maybe 3. Bills and Titans are interchangeable in my AFC rankings. Not rankings record wise, because I still think the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC.
Yeah.
But if I were to pick a team after that, I'm either going Titans or Bills. And this may seem biased because they just beat the Bills, but I had them beating the Bills before that happened anyway.
Interesting. I didn't. But I do think they're a good team. I watched them, beat Seattle, which is not fun for me. But yeah, I do think that they're a real team, but I think that the Chiefs need to win this game more than the Titans do.
Yeah.
So I think the Chiefs will get it done. Who's your start?
Ooh, give me a minute on that. But on the Titans, I just think the Titans are so interesting because they have Derek, they can give the ball to Derrick Henry 35 times a game and just control the game that way and chewing clock, taking up time. But then they also have the passing offense to really compete passing wise with almost any team in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's why I have them ranked so highly. Now let me look at the starts.
I am going to go with a third backup running back on this list and take Darrell Williams. In every league I have him, he's starting. So I think that I think that they're going to establish the run game, and I think that as much as the Titans don't want to make this a passing game, the Chiefs
Mhm.
don't want to make this a game where Derrick Henry goes off. So they're going to want to hold the ball a little bit more than they usually do. And I think that'll impact Darrell Williams. Plus, last week, first of all, he received 24 touches last week, which is 5 more than CEH has gotten all season. Just throw that out there. I love Clyde, but he doesn't really have the workload that Darrell Williams got last week. And Darrell Williams gets 100% of the red zone touches so far
Yeah.
in games that he starts. So I would say until he proves otherwise, start him.
Mhm.
Who you got?
Ooh. Assuming like we got like Mahomes, Henry going off, like doing like what they normally
Normal
do.
stuff, yeah.
I'll go with Julio Jones. I don't think he's had that big game yet as a Titan, and Kansas City's defense has looked questionable for a lot of this year.
Well, I mean, you could argue his big game was against Seattle, but he has been hurt, so that's not a terrible
Yeah.
idea. I was very anti Julio in drafts this year. I did not think he was going to do well, and so far he's proved me right. But I'd be okay.
He had 6 catches for 128 yards versus Seattle. Sorry, that might have been his breakout game, but I think he's been injured and hasn't really done anything. I think he's due for another big game.
Yeah. All right. So the next game we got the Washington football team at the Green Bay Packers. Where are you going?
Green Bay.
I'm also going Green Bay.
I think it's closer, though. I don't like maybe a 1 or 2 score game. Like I think the football team, like they show glimpses of that defense from last year for half the game, like maybe even winning at halftime. But then I think the Packers are just like, guys, what are we doing?
Well, here's my issue because the Washington football defense is bad. It's bad this year. There's no getting around it. They can show glimpses. It's been bad. Their offense is weird to me because like there are some games where they're like, yeah, we're really good. And then there's other games that are like, no, we really suck. And there's just like sometimes it's half of the game. Antonio Gibson looks like he's going to play, which if anyone doesn't know, Antonio Gibson is my favorite player. He would be a W to start, obviously. I think they're going to throw it a lot. I do. And I think the Packers are very happy throwing the ball a lot. I think it is closer than people think. I don't think it's going to be a 2-score game, but yeah, I don't see especially at Lambeau. I don't see them winning.
Yeah. I'm sticking with that. Football team leads at halftime. Packers end up winning by like maybe 10-13, something like that.
Fair. Who is your start? This is kind of one of those matchups where like outside of their like top level guys, there really isn't much.
Yeah.
If I wanted to stick with a backup running back, I would go McKissick because I do think that Gibson's limited in this game. And they do throw the ball a lot, which helps McKissick out. But I'm going to go with Ricky Seals-Jones. He is Logan Thomas's replacement, and he scored a touchdown the other day. I think he gets another one. And just keeps getting those short passes from Heineke because he needs them sometimes. So
let me just check something for mine. All right, tomorrow my pick will be Mason Crosby. Just check the weather in Green Bay. Doesn't look too bad. Not ideal kicking because there's winds of like 10 to 12 miles an hour. But I think Mason Crosby to stay away from the Stars.
Okay. Next we have the Falcons at the Dolphins. I'm going to take the Dolphins to win this one.
I think I'm gonna have to agree with you. I've looked at this game like 2 or 3 times this week, and I've switched to a head winning each time. But do you know, are the Dolphins cornerbacks playing?
No, I don't know if they're playing or not. I don't know. I think that losing to the Jaguars is kind of like whoa. I don't think the Dolphins are good. They're 1-5, but I think that they're much better than 1-5 when Tua plays. I don't think Tua is a good quarterback. Like we've had this conversation many times, just us, in terms of like, do we think Tua is like really that good? I don't think he's a franchise quarterback, but I do think he's a lot better than Jacoby Brissett, especially just with his legs, just being able to move more than Brissett does. And I like the rapport he has with Waddle from college and into the pros. So I think the Falcons are really good. Calvin Ridley hasn't played in a while. I don't know. It's at Miami, which might not make that much of a difference, but you never know. So I'm just gonna go with the Dolphins, but I could see this game flopping either way.
Yeah, because my whole thing, like initially I saw it, I was like, all right, Dolphins. But my thing on like why I'm leaning towards the Falcons is because for some reason Miami didn't get a bye this week. They are the only London team to not get a bye when they came back from London. I don't know if that affects them at all, but that's why like you've got Atlanta coming off a win 2 weeks ago, and they had their bye last week. They've got Ridley, Russell Gage is back, so I think I'm going to take the Falcons and close them.
So you're switching to the Falcons.
Yeah.
Okay. And who is your start of the week?
Ooh.
I'm gonna stick with Waddle. He's been hit or miss. He gets a lot of targets, but none of them ever get yardage. But I do think he scores another touchdown because, I mean, so far we've seen 2 games with 2 or 3 touchdowns. So, I mean, I hope that continues. What about you?
Cordell Patterson.
Naturally, continues the streak for now.
Yeah.
All right. The next game we have is the Patriots versus the Jets in Foxborough. Who you got?
The Patriots.
I also have the Patriots.
Do you think
Jets are not good? No, I don't think it's close.
I don't think it's close either. All right.
My start of the week is Damian Harris. I think he goes off for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Who's my start of the week too?
Harris squared. Okay. Yeah. Zach Wilson is not good at football. I don't get this hype. Said it once.
No, maybe just to go away from starting to have the same player, I'll take the Patriots defense in this one.
Okay. Although I am starting the Jets defense in one game. I don't think it's particularly close, but I do think it's like 21-0 or like 24-7 or something like that, with a couple of turnovers on each side. Ravens, Bengals at Ravens for home away talk. This is the most interesting game of the week to me because I don't really know where to go with it. I'm gonna take the Bengals.
Hey, me too.
Interesting. I like their passing offense a lot. I think the Ravens, again, like Latavius Murray's out, so they're down a 4th running back. I mean, that's not to say they don't, like, they have 2 Pro Bowlers and 2 former, like one guy was former All Pro on their roster. So like Le'Veon Bell and Devontae Freeman are very capable of running the football, but I don't know. There's just something about the Bengals pass offense that, like, when it's on, and it looks really good. I want to stick with that. I really, they were one of my, wild card picks this year for the playoffs. I don't know. I like Joe Burrow. I like T. Higgins. I like Jamar Chase. So, yeah, I mean, the Ravens very well could win this and by a lot, but yeah, I'm going to go with the Bengals.
I'm also going with the Bengals. I'm not that high on the Ravens at all. For some reason. I just feel like they're not, I can't say they're not good, but like, I don't know. I feel like when the Ravens go up against these other good teams, they usually don't win. And this year, they're like, hold my beer. And they've been going off this year, but I'm going to stick with the Bengals still.
My pick of the week is going to be T. Higgins. I think it's a combination of the amount of leagues I start T. Higgins in. And I just also think that I think the Ravens are going to put Marlon Humphrey on Jamar Chase because he's been lighting teams up. And T. Higgins the thing is his counting stats haven't been great, but like, I don't know. It feels like every game I like look on my phone that I'm not watching the Bengals play and I pull it up and it's like 15 yard, 25 yard, 35 yard pass interference intended for T. Higgins. And so I think without Marlon Humphrey on him, I mean, they might shadow him with Marlon Humphrey for all I know, but I think they're going to put the emphasis on Chase knocking him down, and then hopefully Higgins can get some work. This is obviously trying to avoid Joe Mixon and Lamar Jackson as my choices.
Yeah.
But
mine is Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I like that sound of that.
I think I agree with you with the Bengals passing game going off. I didn't want to pick an in particular wide receiver because I don't know if I know, like you said, that like not sure what they're gonna do. Like who knows? One guy could go off. Maybe they could all have great games. Yeah. But either way, Joe Burrow, lots of passing yards.
Fair. All right. So the one of the last games of the early window, Raiders, Eagles. Eagles at Raiders. It might be the later window actually starting now. But who you got?
I have the Raiders.
I have the
And
Eagles.
not close game. Ooh.
In a close game. I don't like the Raiders at all. I don't know if there's a single player on that team that I'm like, oh yes. Hunter Renfro, maybe. I don't know. I like Jalen Hurts a lot. I think he might not be a good quarterback, but he is a fantastic fantasy start. He's the Brett Maher of quarterbacks. Like he's gonna miss 8 field goals in like 3 weeks, but the 9 that he hits are all plus 50.
It's true.
So it's like I don't know. He's just like and that's my start as well. Is Jalen Hurts. He's the only person in that offense I think you can trust. Dallas Goedert is higher on my list now because Zach Ertz is gone, but Jalen Hurts, that's just the pick.
Mine will be Marcus Mariota is back. I could see a rushing touchdown or two. No, but I'll go Hunter Renfro.
Yeah.
He's just been he's been consistently like the guy getting them besides Darren Waller. He's just been like out of the wide receivers. He's just been getting consistent targets every game, but he hasn't really. He's been doing decent, but hasn't really had that great game yet. And I think the Eagles pass defense is pretty bad. So I'll take Renfro.
If you didn't know, Hunter Renfro played about 17 seasons at Clemson before committing to the professionals. It's just where he was there forever.
And decided to take the step up.
All right. Rams, Lions in LA. I mean, is this a game? Clearly the Lions.
That's what I was going to say. I'm actually picking the Lions.
I'm not picking the Lions. The Rams are going to wipe the floor with them. The Lions just don't do anything well, and the Rams do everything well.
Everyone's talking about Matthew Stafford's revenge game versus what the Lions put him through for the last 10 years, but no one's talking about Jared Goff's revenge game after the Rams just sent him to Detroit to have his career whittle away. So
no. People are talking about it. His revenge game is going to be revenge on the Lions for trading for him. And he's going to yet again be awful because Jared Goff is not an NFL quarterback. So I'm going to take, because obviously you can't take Cooper Kupp. I'm going to take Darrell Henderson for another big week. In our dynasty, he has been phenomenal for me. Part of the reason that my somehow ragtag group of young guys have led us to a 4-2 record so far, looking like 5-2 after this week. Yeah, Darrell Henderson.
I will take Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Okay, a little St. Brown action.
Yeah.
USC wide receiver, brother of Packers wide receiver Equanimous St. Brown, former Notre Dame star back there.
Part of Jared Goff's revenge game. I've had Brown going over 120 yards and a touchdown.
Not a bad choice with Hawkinson ailing right now. So, yeah. All right, next game, Cardinals, Texans, Cardinals.
Yeah, I can't pick both. I can't pick the two biggest favorites to lose in the same week.
Texans are not good at football. However, my pick of the week is I am going to take Brandon Cooks. There's just nobody else in that offense that can play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like the running backs can, but it's a running back by committee, not with 2 guys, but with 3 guys. So Ingram, David Johnson, and Phillip Lindsay. No, I'm going to take Brandon Cooks.
I'll go with the Cardinals, and I want to go with Christian Kirk or AJ Green, and I'm just not sure which one.
Go with Rondale Moore instead.
Let me look at AJ Green real quick. No, I'll go with Christian Kirk this week because AJ Green had a big game last week. Oh, they both have big games last week.
Yeah.
I will have to lock in Matt Prater. Expect a couple of 55-yard field goals this week.
Okay. If I were to go with the Cardinals, I would say start Chase Edmonds this week. I think he finally gets that first touchdown. So yeah, Bears Bucks. As much as I want to pick the Bears, I can't.
Yeah.
Bucks. Start of the week. I don't know. Whoever starts at running back, whether it be Herbert or Williams, I don't know. I'm just out on this game. Don't start anybody. Fade the whole lineup.
My start of the week will be. Wait, are you fading both lineups or just?
Yeah, I'm fading both lineups. I don't want to start anyone from this game.
I'd start Mike Evans.
Oh, I
Big
just don't.
Mike.
I don't want to choose like Evans or Godwin or I mean, definitely don't want to start Robinson. But yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna fade it. Leonard Fournette maybe if I had to choose one, but mostly fade it. 49ers Colts Sunday Night Football in San Fran. Who you got?
I got the Colts.
I also have the Colts.
Hey.
Jimmy Garoppolo's first game back. Elijah Mitchell leading the charge in the backfield. I don't think it's enough. It does very much hurt the Colts that they lost Julian Blackmon, but
Yeah,
I still
Quentin
think the
Nelson
line.
back.
What? Quentin Nelson
Yeah.
is back. Yeah. Another Notre Dame legend. Along with Mike McGlinchey from the 49ers line. Yeah, my start, T.Y. Hilton's out. If he plays, Zach Pascal catches a touchdown. He hasn't done it in a while, so I think he gets back in the end zone.
Do I want to go with another kicker? No, probably not.
Please, no.
I'll go with. Honestly, I'd fade. Well, besides like Jonathan Taylor, I'd fade the rest of the Colts.
Okay, what about the 49ers?
Yeah, I'm looking at them now.
Elijah Mitchell, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk for a bounce back. The defense, maybe.
Because I was thinking defense, but I think Colts put up a dirty spot, so I didn't want. So I think it's like a relatively high scoring game, like maybe like 31-20, something like that. So I wanted to stay away from defenses. Yeah, I think I'll go Brandon Ayuk for a bounce back game.
All righty. And then the last game of the week, Seattle at home, Monday Night Football against the Saints. Someone I think that might not be started in your league would be Alvin Kamara. Maybe you should throw it. No, I'm kidding. I mean, we're at this point in the week where we all know I'm taking Seattle, whether or not they have a chance to win. I'm taking Seattle.
I am. This was another one of the games that I was a toss up on because it's like which New Orleans team are you going to say? Because they've looked like two different teams in different.
Well,
weeks.
they are also returning 6 players from the injured list.
Yeah, that's. I'm gonna flip a coin.
Interesting.
So I think it's a toss up because again, the Saints. Because I think both teams have but each like the Seahawks and the Saints each have two different teams that could both show up on Monday night. Like there was that the Seattle team that like came back against Pittsburgh and tied the game, but then there was a Seattle team in the first half of that game.
Yeah.
And then New Orleans, depending on the week, they're either smoking teams or they're losing teams that should be winning.
I will say I don't really think that's necessarily fair for Seattle because it was Geno Smith's first start in a long time, and they were in Pittsburgh at night, which is not an easy place to play. I think at home with a home crowd behind him, Geno Smith will start off better. So I'm going to take Seattle, but I could very well see the Saints winning this game.
Do you want Seattle to be heads or tails?
Tails, because tails never fails. And that's our
tails.
Seattle calls tails every time.
All right. Well, my coin flip just resulted in tails, so I will also go Seattle.
Who is your start of the week from this matchup?
If healthy, Alex Collins.
He's playing, but he's not going to be healthy.
Yeah, if he plays Alex Collins.
He's playing.
So just Alex Collins.
Okay, Alex Collins. I'm going to go ahead and take DK Metcalf because it's my favorite team and I want to.
Understandable.
Yeah, I don't care that Marshawn Lattimore's on him. Please, just throw him the ball. He's 6'4". He's bigger than most tight ends. Just give him the ball. So that's the week. We'll probably check in next week and see how these predictions did. But yeah, anything else you'd like to add before the week ends, other than it being the ultimate bye week?
Um, I would like to add in that the win streak will extend another week because they cannot lose this week.
That's true. They're not playing.
That's going to be a big thing for next week. I'm going to talk about the Cowboys and Cowboys Vikings on Sunday night. That's about it.
Cool. All right. Yeah. 12 games this week. We'll see what happens. All right. Adios.